recording via my phone because, believe it or not, until the phantom power supply gets here from my current microphone, this thing actually has a better recording quality than the other mic. I ordered it from Amazon and they're taking forever to ship it, so hopefully they'll ship it soon. And I don't know why, but I'm sitting here I guess I'm working too much again. But I keep forgetting the topic I actually do want to touch upon. It kind of goes back to when I was, I think, 25, 26. And this was when I was trying to get I believe it was the webcomic version of my comic published by a publisher, obviously. So what happened, what was my experience, and what I took from that experience, which has led me to where I am now. So in case you don't know, I went to college for the arts. I'm not going to get into, how I feel, and I'll get into details about that in another video. But in 2012, so for those of you that can't figure out, I'm a little older than you think I am. I received my degree, my Bachelor's of Fine Arts. Honestly, I don't think that degree is really, oh my goodness, there's so many videos I have to make on this channel. I mainly do it because I want to finally let go of this, I don't want to say hatred, but just this darkness I had that I've held on to through my 20s. It's time to let it go. After I graduated from college, I too did the whole webcomic thing. It was for specifically Uma Beast Chronicles. Back then, it wasn't called Uma Beast Chronicles. It was actually called Beast Stones. Recently, I decided to reuse the name again, but for another comic book series, because I've been working on Beast Chronicles for I don't know how long. Finally, getting to the point when I actually publish it, and that's all for another video. But I was doing the whole webcomic thing. I had a website up and everything. I won't get into details about what was going on in between that, but fast forward, I was doing the webcomic thing. I was actually struggling for a long while. And I don't know, I don't remember how many pages I did, but I think I did around at least 100 to whatever pages. I don't quite remember how webcomics go. Yes, it's been that long since I actually properly published a webcomic, because I kind of gave up on that after this, and especially after me and my ex, which was around almost 2 to 3 years ago. That's for another video that I'm actually going to render after I get done recording this. I finally decided to try to reach out to a publisher, give them my pitch of my project, my comic, my style, and everything else. Send over the symbols so that they know what the story is about, how long it's going to be, along with the samples. This was done via email back at that time, and just to see if anyone would be willing to at least take a look. And I was even open to having to redo the entire thing if need be. I was used to it because I actually had to do that for Pro Studio 1 and 2. For those that actually went to the college that's similar to mine, you probably know what that means. And I'm sorry if you hear my phone vibrate. Let me go ahead and fix that. Rosh, you need to be quiet. You're being a bad fuzzy. Bad fuzzy. He's the one that actually took over Cap's Corner's username on Twitter. Fucking hilarious when he first, or she, or they did it. I have no idea what your preferred pronouns are, but I'm a big fan. Yes. That was delicious. I'm all for it, man. But anyway, I did mention the name of this publisher actually a number of times in previous videos. I'm gonna go ahead and not do it this time because I'm kind of past that, and I'm actually gonna save that for another video because it's actually hilarious. This occurred back in 2017. I actually saw their products at a failing ass con at a city here in Florida. I won't mention the name because, well, but I reached out to them after reaching out to so many publishers. If there's one thing I hated was a number of them didn't really respond. Quite a number of them actually did, but they just said it wasn't really their thing. They never specifically mentioned it was because of the quality of the work. it was mainly because they just had no idea how to market it. And looking back, I understood what they meant, which is why I'm branching out to these different comic book series that still tie into my current comic movies chronicles, but something different that people can latch onto and relate to better than a bunch of fucking monsters and creatures and things like that. I don't remember which ones. I know I reached out to a few that are kind of in the higher up and up, well known, but there was one in particular I reached out. I still consider them an indie book publisher. I took a look at their site, and first thing I noticed that the art style kind of sort of looked similar to mine. So I figured, well, I have a pretty good shot with these guys, let me try them. So I sent them an email, and not even a day goes by and they shoot it back. And they wrote this all this paragraph saying that, hey, we like your stuff, it seems interesting. And they asked me a couple more questions. I answered them in the next email. This was during the time when I had the Hotmail account. This was before I even switched over to Gmail. So more exchanges were made, and a contract was produced, and I signed the contract, and I was basically with a publisher for a while. I was really excited. I was happy because I understood that at times when it comes to books and things like that, normally a team of artists, the scriptwriter, the editor, the letterer, the colorist, the inker, the penciler, sometimes it's two people. Commonly, though, is sometimes just one person, which, of course I believe one person can do it all. But obviously every single artist has limitations. Maybe they're not that strong in lettering and digitally at lettering and logo design and things like that. Maybe their coloring skills are not really that good. Maybe that good. Wow. I'm sorry. Perhaps they know how to ink traditionally, but maybe the studio prefers that the inking is done digitally, and they can't, maybe because they don't have the proper digital equipment to do that, like a webcam tablet or a digital on-screen tablet and things like that. There's just a lot of things. Back then, my lettering skills sucked the dawn. I mean, I didn't know shit squat about graphic design and lettering and things like that. So my lettering was kind of poor. Coloring was based off what I was brainwashed to believe from college, which thankfully, especially during 2016, I finally put that behind me, and my art has actually improved thanks to that, at least in my opinion. So obviously they told me that I would have to redo all those webcomic pages, and they specified the format that they usually publish their books in, which was a long-ass graphic novel, and I thought, oh man, it's gonna take a while, and they even said it might take a year before it's done, which now looking back was actually reasonable, And I agree because I signed the contract. That was discussed before I signed the contract. So that was done. They requested a script. I did the script. It was done under chapter 1. There's 7 chapters, but it was going to be all into this big ass graphic novel as they requested in. I did the scripting, and pretty funny note, that same script is the same one that I am currently using for my version of chapter 1 that I have self-published at this time. But I did that. I don't remember how long it took me. I think it took me about maybe a week or so or something like that. It didn't take me too long to do this. I sent them over the script. It didn't take them too long to for them to respond. And they said that, hey, the script was fine. There's just a couple of things with the wording that they wanted me to change and kind of be a little more descriptive in my scripting for their sake. And so I went back and added more details and did any corrections I needed to do. This was during all in 1 month. I sent them back the email. This is where all of this bullshit began. At the time, I was working a part-time job. Unfortunately, I wasn't doing anything with my degree. Well, this has drastically changed. I reversed that in just 1 year. And I'll talk about this in another video. I sent him back the email. This was the same year that I think it was the last time that me and my parents flew to Cuba. I mentioned in the last video that my parents are from Cuba, specifically from Havana. I have family there. I have brothers and aunts and things like that. Everything was pretty much coming to a head this particular year. This was, I think, 2015. Because I remember right after that I met my ex. I sent them another email. And I sent them another. I think they respond maybe once, tell me that the script is fine, but that they want me to make more changes. And a lot of time went by. I was not even doing any more stuff with the webcomic at this point because I thought, well, these guys are a publisher, they have their own stuff, so I would presume that they would act professionally with me, especially someone that's pretty much trusting their own work and creations under their hands. And I think nearly 6 to 7 months passed. Now, during this whole exchange, before any of this, they didn't really tell me they had any other projects going on or how the schedule looks. They told me that they had a few, but they made it seem like they had time to get back to me and to kind of focus on my stuff. I got no response at all. I remember an email exchange where one of them mentioned that the other, I believe the co-founder of that publisher or something like that, well, they were having family problems and they were assigned as the editor, and I understood. And they said they assigned someone else. I emailed that someone else. I actually reached out to the head honcho of that publisher again. Got little to no response. We flew to Cuba. A lot of shit happened in Cuba. That's for another video. Yeah, there's a lot of videos I'm gonna be posting here. Flew back. Still no response. Almost a year has passed. Now, I understand that things come up. Family problems, a death in the family, financial problems, relationship problems. Real life first before, I understand that, especially now. But, you're gonna go not even a half a year almost to beyond that, not responding, not getting back. I mean, you're supposed to be a publisher. Do you want people to take you seriously and want people with creative and really interesting ideas to pitch your work to? Do you want that? Then why would you do this? And this leads on to what led me to just saying fucking. Just fuck it all, fucking, and just fuck them specifically. I emailed them one more time, no response. I said, okay, what's going on? I go to their website and the website design changed. So they're active. I don't know when they changed the design of the website, but I remember it looked a particular way when I first discovered them and it was changed. So it's like, okay, where's their Facebook? Where's their... I reached out to their Facebook because that was the platform I was kind of sort of still active on. I'm not really active on Facebook now. That's for another video. Oh yeah, bunch of shit to talk about. I go to Facebook. They have a Facebook page. I find their publisher Facebook page. They're active as hell on their Facebook. I see posts from around that time I found them down to all those months and weeks. There was posts and they were working on another project that looked like complete and utter mierda from the screenshots and everything I saw. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, it's okay that you work on the projects, but you're ignoring someone that, and they told me it was going to take a full year. A full year has passed and we haven't even gone beyond the scripting. And that got me angry. It's like, man, if I was a publisher, I would never do this to anyone. It's unprofessional. Hell, even the way I'm speaking about these guys is unprofessional already, but this is just how I am. This is me, this is real. They wasted a year of my time that I will never ever be able to get back. I contacted them and I told them, you know what? I didn't really say it like this. Obviously, I was very professional, really. But I told them, you know what? I've been contacting you guys via email. You haven't responded. I want out from this contract. And they responded promptly. And then I finally got an email from the guy that runs the publisher site and things like that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I seen you seen my emails. You said you wanted, and this is what they said, oh, I wanted to respond to them. You wanted to respond to them. Something that would have taken you no more than a few minutes to do. But you just decided to ignore me, thinking that maybe I might just disappear and let you do whatever the fuck you want with the scripting. And no, sweetheart, take me out from the fucking contract, and whatever scripting that we done already, it's mine because I worked on it. He sent me another form to sign, which took me off from the contract, and then he gave me this long wall of text saying, I hope we can work together. And no, we are never, ever, no, not even in passing. Up to now, this angered me so much, and even more because during that time when I was waiting for them to respond, I actually started a YouTube channel called Regdrass. And I was watching a artist YouTuber that I was watching one of her videos. I don't remember which one, but she mentioned she wanted to start a retro gaming channel. Girl, I was trying to do the same thing once upon a time. I'm old as hell too. And it was mainly retro games and things like that, and I just did reviews. And this was back when I was really heavy into video editing, and this was for another video. I was actually very good at it, but don't have patience for it. And that is how, and that led me to meet my ex. So because of these cunts, that happened. It's not really their fault, it was my decision to do this. To give this individual a chance and what have you, okay? But they wasted a full fucking year that I could have used to continue the webcomic, to perhaps start freelancing, because I wasn't even freelancing. I had a part-time, and it's like, well, maybe I should keep, maybe try something different, work on other forms of art. But no, a full year was wasted. And then another year was wasted on top of that. So what did I learn from this? In college, they told me, no, you have to pitch your stuff. You have to do it from a publisher. No, do it your fucking self. Do it yourself. We have this thing called the internet. We have this thing called YouTube. Printing from home. It doesn't even break your wallet. You just have to do research. You don't even need to start with a webcomic. If you got an idea, if the artwork's decent, it doesn't even have to be the full comic. Just do like a preview comic. Go to conventions. Talk to people. Talk to those that been in the comic book industry. Chit-chat with them. Chit-chat with other artists. Or if you want to do the webcomic thing, get your pages up. Publish them on the website. And then go to conventions or get your friends and talk about it. I really wish I kept doing it because maybe it would have led to that point, but because I let college brainwash me into thinking that things have to be done a certain way. No, they don't. There's so many webcomic artists that actually make a living now from their projects and things like that. There's a lot of artists that get their comic book stuff kickstarted on Kickstarter. I'm not one of these because I have the equipment and the financial stability and what have you to do it from home. And I've studied, I've done a lot of test printing, and I made a final decision on how I want my comics to feel and look. So I do it myself and I do it from home. But of course it's going to change in the future. It has to, because I won't have time to do every single little thing that I'm doing right now to start. What I learned from this is how, professionalism in the field. I'm on YouTube. I'm gonna cuss. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna bitch. I'm gonna do a lot of things. But if you're not an artist, you're just another individual at a convention, I would never be like this towards you, especially if I don't even know you. Soft-spoken, doesn't cuss every 5 minutes like I do right now. But that's what happened, and that's what led me, if that specific event would have been pretty much the main thing that needed to happen to lead me to this point, then honestly, I would not change it. Did it have negative repercussions? Yeah. Did it negatively impact me? Somewhat, yeah. But that's why I'm talking about it, because hopefully nobody else goes through this. Especially, it's 2019. It's 2019. But anyways, that was my experience dealing with trying to get some of my stuff published, but I already said what I said. Thank you so much for listening. And no, actually, I'm not sorry if you can't take the cussing and just me being me. This is not going to change unless I don't want to even call it tutorials, maybe just me going, how to draw a circle in Photoshop like a pro. That's pretty much going to be me, trolling around and shit. If you take something away from it, whatever, it's just me talking about what happened during that time and what I got from it. I don't know how or what you would have gotten from it if that happened to you. It's a case-by-case basis, and it's going to depend on the project, on the artist, on the circumstances, and what have you. Take care, stay safe, and please, guys, drink fucking water. Get off from your chair and get water and eat. Take care, guys.